Welcome or welcome back to Pouches and More, and today we'll prepare this fabric pouch. It's got a curved zipper. We have kept some cosmetics inside. It's spacious and completely lined. This is how it looks inside. There are no raw edges. There's enough space to keep phone and also our glasses box. So let's check out the materials required to make this fabric pouch. We'll require 2 pieces of main fabric. They have been quilted and they measure 11.5 by 7.5 inches. 2 pieces of lining fabric fused with interfacing measuring 11.5 by 7.5 inches. 1 piece of main fabric and 1 piece of lining fabric. These measure 2 inches by 1.5 inch and a 12-inch long zip. So first we are going to prepare the pattern, and we've taken the lining fabric on the wrong side. We have folded it like this in half. So we have folded the 11.5 inch side into half. Now there's a top and a base. On the base we are going to make some markings. We're just going to clip this so that it does not move. On the base corner we'll be making a boxing. So for that we'll take a marking of 1.5 inch. So on both the corners we are going to make a marking of 1.5 inch. So we made it on one. We also do that on the other, and then we will be making the box. So we will join these points that we just made. And this is going to give us the boxing of 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch. So on the base corner we have done the boxing. Now on the top part we are going to make the same marking, not a boxing, 1.5 inch mark. So this is again 1.5 inch mark on the top. Now we are going to join the top and base mark, but for that we will be using a square ruler, and we are going to form a right angle at the edge. So top we are going to keep it at 1.5, then the side edge, and then the corner 1.5 box mark. So this way we are just going to form a right angle and then make the top line for the box. So it's going to be a slanting line, the top part, and we are also going to join the edge and the top 1.5 inch. So this is our mark. We are going to cut this. This is how the pattern will be looking. So we are going to make a curve on one side. One will be straight and one will be curved. Here we have got a circle, and this measures 5 inches in diameter. Now this circle we will be placing it on one corner. The other will be straight. On one corner we will be placing this, and it will be, the circumference will be joining both the edges. We are just going to make the curved mark. We are going to cut this now. So this is how our pattern will be. We have done it on one piece of lining fabric. Now we are going to take the other pieces also, and we are going to mark this. Now for marking it on the lining fabric, we are going to place them opposites. That is, we will put the right sides together. So we're just going to place the right sides together of both the lining, and we will be cutting the pattern. So on the lining fabric we'll be cutting it like this. We will do the same on the main fabric also. For that we'll put the main fabric right sides together like this, and we'll place the pattern on this, and we are going to cut this. So we'll do this for all the 3 other fabrics. Our patterns are ready. All the fabrics we have cut the pattern, and they will be opposite sides. This is how they will be. I will take the zip, the open end of the zip, we are just going to fold it. So the zipper teeth, we are going to bend it like this. It's going to be at right angle, and the extra fabric will be folding it behind. So the teeth will be bending it and the extra fabric will fold it behind like this. Now we are just going to pin it. We need to stitch this. So we are just going to pin this to hold them together. We'll do the same thing now for the other side also. So we're just going to bend it like this. The zipper teeth, we are going to bend it, and the back fabric, folded fabric, we'll just fold it back on the zipper tape, and we are going to pin this. Now we are going to stitch this. We can either hand stitch or machine stitch. For the zipper tab, we have cut the fabric 1.5 inch by 1.5 inch, and we have quilted this. We have fused the lining fabric. Now we'll place this on the other side. So for that, we'll take the main fabric. The slider side, we'll put the main fabric, right side facing down. So where the slider will be coming, we are going to place the main fabric, and behind that the lining fabric. Both will be having right sides on the zipper tape. So here right side is on the zipper tape, and we're going to make a stitch on this. We've done the stitching. Now we're just going to open it, flatten this, both lining and main fabric, and we're going to make a top stitch on this. So zipper tape, we have cut the extra fabric and we have done the top stitch. Now we are going to hand stitch the other open end that we just folded. You can also machine stitch. It's a simple straight stitch that we'll be doing. So our zip is ready. Now we will be attaching this on the main fabric. So our main fabric right side will be facing up. On the corner straight part, we will be making a marking of 1/2 inch. So we will leave 1/2 inch, and this is the straight part, not the curved part. We are going to leave 1/2 inch, and the side of the zipper that we have folded. So this is the straight part, will be in the corner, we leave 1/2 inch. Now the slider will be facing down, that is to the main fabric right side. And the folded part, we will align it exactly with the 1/2 inch mark. So where the zipper teeth will be coming, which that we have folded, we will align it with the 1/2 inch mark, and we will align the entire tape to the main fabric and clip it. Now when this curved part comes, we are going to make small cuts on the zipper tape. So this is only on the curved part we have done small cuts. Now we'll again neatly align the edge and clip the entire thing. We're going to make a stitch on this and completely. One side is done. We have stitched it. We'll cut the extra over here. Zipper tab extra fabric, we'll just cut it off. Now for the other side, we're going to put the main fabric right sides together. So we're just going to put them together, and then we will align the edges, the curved edges, and attach the zip. We'll make a stitch on this just as we did for this side, we'll be doing for the other side also. So main fabric, the zips have been attached. Now for the lining fabric, we will have to place them right side facing down. Now in case we want to have a wider fabric over here, we can increase the zipper tab and decrease the zip. So we just have to increase the measurement over here of the fabric. So now we'll place the lining fabric right side facing down. But before that, we'll just put the main fabrics together. We have to put it right sides together, and then on one side of the zipper tape, we'll be attaching the lining fabric. So right side will be facing down of the lining fabric also, and this is how we'll be attaching the lining fabric. Align the edges. So right sides of the main fabric and lining fabric are together with the zipper sandwiched in between. We are going to clip the entire edge. Now we're going to make a stitch over here. This is the lining fabric. So one side is done. Now for attaching the other side, we need to turn this to the right side. So we have to turn the whole thing to the right side. Before that, we are going to cut the extra lining fabric, only lining fabric in this curved part. So we are going to cut the lining fabric, extra lining fabric in the curved part, and we are going to make small cuts on the main fabric. So the main fabric is quilted, so here we are going to make small notches on the curved part only. So just going to fold it like this and make small notches all around in the curved part. So this is how it will be. Only on the curved part we have made notches, and we'll turn this to the right side. So one side will be turning to the right side, the part that we have already stitched. So we have to do this before we attach the lining on the other side. Now for the other side also, we'll be doing it the same way. I will place the lining fabric again right side facing down, and we'll have to put main fabrics together. So here we are first going to clip it from the corner, and then we'll put the main fabric here and then clip it right till the end. Now we are going to make a stitch all around, and again same thing, we will be doing notches and cut the extra lining and turn it to the other side. What we did to the before one, we'll do the same thing. So we have finished doing attaching the lining on both the sides. So our main body is done. Now we have to make a top stitch on this. From here we'll be making a top stitch. The front part we won't be stitching. So right till the end. So the front part we won't be stitching. From there we'll be making a top stitch right till the end. Our top stitch is also done. Now we have to put them together. So for that we'll take the right sides together like this, and one side we are again going to turn it to the wrong side. So only one side we'll be turning it to the wrong side. Now we'll align the base of the main fabric, right sides together. We're just going to align the base first. Clip the entire base. So here we'll have to make a stitch. We'll have to do a stitch over here. Same thing we'll do on the lining fabric also. We're just going to align the base and clip it. The entire base will be clipping. Here we'll be leaving a gap to turn the pouch right side out. So this is the gap that we'll be leaving. This is to turn the pouch to the right side. Rest entire base we'll stitch. So we'll stitch the main fabric as well as the lining fabric. Our base is stitched. This is the opening. Now for the side, we are first going to, this is the reason we did not do the top stitch. We are going to flatten the seams over here. We are not going to keep them as they are, which is going to flatten the center seams. That is where the lining and the main fabric meet. We are going to flatten them like this and then clip them. Now we'll clip the entire side edge of the main as well as the lining fabric. Now we're going to make a stitch over here also. Remember to, once it reaches the center, it will be a slight turn since it's a V on both sides. Our side stitch is done. Now we need to stitch the corners that we have left. So for that we'll take one part, and this part we are going to stitch the corners together. So first we are going to flatten the lining fabric. Here the lining fabric seam, we won't be flattening it, we'll just push it to one side. So I'm just going to push the lining fabric seam to one side and align the edge, and we're going to clip this. We'll be doing the same for the main fabric also. So now for the main fabric, we are going to flatten the edge, align the edge like this, put it in a straight line. But the stitch seams, we are going to flatten them. We are not going to push them to one side. We are just going to flatten them like this. Since it's quilted, it will be quite thick. So we'll just flatten them. And we're going to see that the center seam of the lining and the main fabric align together. So here we are now first going to put the main fabric, clip the main fabric and the lining fabric separately. Now we are going to, this is the lining fabric, this is the main fabric. Now we are going to put them together and stitch them. So the center first we will align them neatly, edges, and we are going to clip them. Now the side also, we are going to now clip them together. So we are going to stitch them together over here. So the main and the lining, we have put them together now, and we'll be clipping. We'll do the same on the other side also. Now here they are separate. We'll just put them together, clip them. Now we're going to clip them and make a stitch on this. So here we're going to make a stitch. Now for the other side, first we are going to separately stitch them. So first we are just going to put the lining fabric and the main fabric, stitch them separately. Here both the stitch seams, we will be pushing them in the opposite direction, flatten them in the opposite direction, align the edges and clip them. So we're going to neatly align the edges in a straight line and we're going to clip this. The main fabric, we are going to flatten the seams. So here we are just going to flatten the stitch seams of the main fabric. So here just flatten and we are going to clip this. Now here first we are going to separately stitch these corners, that is the lining fabric and main fabric. Then we are going to attach them together as we did for the other side. So here now they're separately clipped. So here also we will be making a stitch. So all the corners will be making a stitch now. Only this part is together. So one side is, we have stitched them together. Now the other side we have stitched them separately. So this is the main fabric we have stitched, and here we have got the lining fabric that we have stitched. Now we have to put them together, but before that we are going to flatten the seam over here, or else it's going to become bulky. This is the part on top in the corner. So we will neatly flatten the main fabric as well as the lining fabric. If we don't flatten, it's going to give a bulk over there. So just going to neatly flatten them, and then we are going to get the corners of the main fabric as well as the lining fabric together. So now we are going to put them together and stitch them. By stitching the main fabric and the lining fabric corners together, when we remove anything from the pouch, the lining fabric will not be pulled out. The main fabric will be holding them together. So we're going to make a stitch over here just to hold them together, just like the other side. Now we have stitched both the sides. So both the corners will be held together. Now from this opening, we will turn the entire pouch to the right side. We're just going to turn it to the right side. Push out the corners neatly. Both the sides corners will have to be pushed out neatly. We are going to just flatten this. Now this is the opening that we left in the lining fabric. So we are just going to align this neatly and clip them in a straight line. We can either hand stitch this or machine stitch. Since it will be in the base itself, we can machine stitch. It won't be seen. It won't be visible. So we are going to machine stitch. First we are going to clip this, and it's a simple straight stitch that we'll be doing. Our base is also stitched. Now we'll turn the pouch to the right side. We have also made a top stitch over here. This was the part which we had left initially. So now we have also made a top stitch over here. Now we'll turn it to the main fabric right side. So our pouch is completely ready and done. This is how it will be looking. One side is straight and the other side is curved. We have used, it's completely lined from inside. The corner we have used a tab. We can increase this tab in case we want by decreasing the zipper length. It's simple to make. Please do try this, and please do subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.